Hey YouTube, how are you doing today? Well, I have decided not to film while I'm doing chicken because the pans tend to stack up in front of me and that's not really the best thing. But today, I want to talk about a few times in my life. Excuse me one second, I gotta get veggies out of this fridge here. Some red cabbage. You can watch me do this here while I'm talking. A few times in my life when I kind of wish I had a camera on me to film. There's been a few instances in my life that were kind of like, wow, wish could have got that on film. And so I figured what better than to get them on film than to talk about them. And the first one that really sticks out in my mind is I was probably about 18 or 19 years old. Didn't really have a job at the time, I don't think. Doesn't really matter. I was in this store called Fred Meyer's. And at the store we have that's local here in the Pacific Northwest. It's I believe it's related to Kroger's on the East Coast. At least I think it was bought out by Kroger's. But they're basically, a Fred Meyer's is basically, they've been around here in the Portland metropolitan area for 50 plus years. Probably closer to 60 or 70 years now. And they're basically a base for an idea. Think of a Walmart. It's basically what they were 60, 70 years ago, the very first Walmarts. But anyways, I was in this Fred Meyer's and I was in their electronics department, which were by the front doors of this department, of this store. The very front doors of the store that were up by 82nd. And I'm standing there in the electronics department, not actually in the electronics department, but at the very entrance of it, in the main hallway heading to the apparel department that was down that walkway a little ways. And I hear a rustle off of my back corner to my left-hand side. I believe it was stop. And it was too far away for really me to be affecting me, but I was like, what the heck's going on? And as I turn around, I see a security guard grabbing this big guy. I mean, he must have been 6'4" or 6'5" and close to 300 pounds. Big guy. Like a big old red afro of hair. And he grabbed that guy by the security guard grabbed that big guy by the shoulder. And about that time, the guy said, "Don't touch me." Turn around and wham! Hit that security guard square in the nose. There was blood everywhere. Oh my God. And that one guy with the red hair, he started running. He was running my direction. And about 3 other security guards jumped on him. And he landed about, 6 feet in front of me. Blood everywhere. They brought out an entire roll of paper towels from the paper aisle to pick up the blood. I was worried at first. A second, I might have got a little blood on myself, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, I wish I would have had a camera that time. That was serious, man. This slugged that guy right in the nose, busted his nose, sure as shit, right there in front of me. I was like, oh my God, blood everywhere. Anyways, another time that I wish I would have had a camera on me was during a drug deal. Oh no. And this was a ways back before, I must have been 20 years old. I was in college at the time. And met this kid in college. And I didn't smoke weed at the time. It was the time that I was choosing not to smoke marijuana. And which is, fine and dandy for anybody who doesn't want to smoke. If they don't want to smoke, that's fine. But nonetheless, this friend of mine, he did smoke weed. He knew I had in the past. I told him. And he offered it to me one day. And I told him, no, I used to smoke, but I don't anymore currently. Well, he asked me if I could get some for him. Well, my father had connections and did sell. He sold weed on a pretty regular basis back in the day. Just to, I mean, he did his normal job, but just to make, you know, a few extra bucks on the side and take care of his friends, he, you know, got a couple ounces and eighth them up, and he had about 10 or 15 friends that would come by and buy off of him on a pretty regular basis. But he wasn't selling to kids or anything. These were people that were in their 30s that he knew for years and years and years. And my dad's rule was always, don't ever sell to somebody new and don't ever sell to somebody that you don't know. So I pretty much stayed by these, but I had known this guy for at least a year by that time. And we were pretty good friends. And I told him I could probably get him some, and he wanted an eighth. So we set it up a time and a date and a place. And I met him by the train tracks. We lived about half a mile from some train tracks, and I told him to meet me down by the train tracks. So we met down there. He got his bag of weed, I got the money, and he asked me if I wanted to smoke a bowl. And at that time, I believe I had started back up. I'm not 100% sure what. I think this was a while after I turned down his weed. I had started smoking again and whatnot. I believe I had stopped smoking weed to get a job at the point in time. But I believe I had gotten the job and was on the job and was clear of, you know, having to worry about taking a P test. You know, and I strongly believe you should be allowed to smoke weed on your days off, even if your job doesn't allow it. I don't think that's right. The only reason they don't allow it is because testing can only test within 30 days. And they need to devise a test that's, you know, within 24 hours. No, if you've smoked weed within 24 hours. You've smoked, maybe even less than that, 12 hours, 6 hours. Because I should be able to take a bong hit after I get home after work. Because the next morning, I'm not still stoned. I guarantee I'm not. But anyways, we smoked a bowl in between two boxcar trains. And we get all done, and he's got his bag of weed, and I got my money, and we're walking down the street, and we're probably 100 yards from the trains. And I hear something. And I hear hey or something, and I turn around and there's two cops behind us. I just think, oh fuck. And I'm like, what? And I just turned back around and I said, hey, there's cops behind us. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, there's cops behind us. And then about that time we hear, hey, again, stop. And we stop, turn around, and what, us? Yeah, you. Okay, well, they walked up to us, and we had just smoked a bowl 100 yards down the way with less than 5 minutes ago. And he had a big bag of weed and it's stinky, sticky bud. And they start to proceed to ask us questions about supposedly two kids that were down on the train tracks writing graffiti on trains. And we're like, no, we didn't see anybody. We think maybe might have been somebody down the way about half a mile or so. But we weren't writing graffiti on the trains. We were just crossing the train tracks because there was a road connecting on either side of the train tracks. They were just dead-end roads. And it was like 4 tracks you had to cross to get to the other side to go up the hill to the school we were at. And that's all they really asked us. They wanted to see our IDs, checked our IDs, and sent us on our way. Okay. I wish I had a camera that day. Then the last one I can think of that can really come to my mind, I was with my stepfather, Jerry. And we were going to a farrier's place, which is basically a place for people who horseshoe horses. Deal with, you know, forging of fire and iron and that kind of stuff. Which is all cool and dandy, but we were headed there. And I was riding passenger in his pickup. And we come to this road, this crossroads. And we just go through it, but just as we go through it, another car comes behind us, and it goes across, but they didn't see the other car that was coming the other direction. Bam! T-bone right behind me. I mean, it was just so, oh my God, that just happened. I was watching that car, you know, I had my eyes on the pickup that was going across the road, and I just watched it happen. Bam! Sure as shit, right in front of me. T-bone another car. It was like, oh my God. But yeah, that's the 3 times that I can really think of that I wish I would have had a YouTube or a camera. with me, so I could have posted on YouTube. But anyways, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, tell me about your stories, or ask me about anything else if there's any other experiences or stories you want me to tell you. I've had quite a few interesting things. Me and my brother Jeff, we floated down the Clackamas River. I got a few videos of Jeff doing his work on his big truck, so if you want to go look at them, I'll put a link in the description below so you can go see them videos. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, like I said, and thanks again for always for watching. You guys are the reason I do this. It's not for anything else. I really want to make a community and make this thing good, so tell your friends. Talk to you guys later.